What's up, guys? I'm Jared, and welcome to Paintbrush Samurai. Today, we're going to talk about how to never be forgotten. Alright? So, in order to do that, we need to have a little understanding of memory, and what creates memory and what does not create memory. Alright? And what we need to know is this one, okay? Reflection is measured not in hours and minutes, but instead actions and efforts. Thus, a spectator of success believes it has happened overnight, and a creator of success knows that it takes a lifetime. Right? Alright, so deep words of wisdom. Let's dissect that and see how we can make that useful. Alright, so in reflection, time is measured not in hours and minutes, but in actions and efforts. So what does this mean? This means basically, if you try and recall what you did yesterday, or what you did last week, or what you did really any day, the only time you're able to successfully do this is when you recall actions or efforts, never just the time spent, right? I'm 20 years old, but I don't have 20 years of memories. I don't have memories of every single second that I've been alive. I don't have memories of everything that I've done, because not everything that I've done has been important. I don't remember last week, if last week I spent it on the couch watching average TV eating chips. This is not memorable. And because your brain cannot memorize everything, it takes unimportant, non-memorable stuff and just throws it away. Right? Unless you kind of have some kind of superhuman brain, which I'm assuming you don't. You can only memorize the things that are extremely important to you. So although you can't recall what happened last week because you probably did nothing, or maybe you didn't. If you didn't, awesome. But if you're like most people, then last week was unimportant. But what you can probably recall is maybe your 10th birthday. And maybe your 10th birthday you got a giant trampoline, and you went outside and you jumped on it for like 6 hours, and you broke your arm. You had to go to the hospital on Christmas Eve or on your birthday or whatever. That's memorable, because you put effort and action into that. Alright? So how can we apply this to other people? Well, first things first, if you don't even remember what you did, definitely nobody else is going to remember what you did. Alright? So we have to start filling our lives with tons of actions and efforts. So every single day, you need to be filling your time up, not with nothing, because that will be forgotten, but actions and efforts. So whatever it is you do. Maybe it is you're into writing. So you have to write every single day, and you have to put a great amount of effort into your writing, right? People will remember the guy who comes into the coffee shop and writes 3 pages every single day. They might not even know that guy. They might even just be the baristas who just serve him his coffee and he just writes 3 pages every day. But those baristas will forever remember that guy, because that guy came in and wrote 3 pages every single day. They never knew what he wrote about. They never even knew who he was or what he was about, but they knew that guy, because he was taking actions and efforts every single day, and they were just witnessing it. It wasn't even a part of them or affecting them. If we really want to stick into people's minds, we can go a step further and do actions and efforts that directly influence other people. Now, this is really only applicable to people that you know, right? Because most people, you don't even have to know them to remember them forever. For example, if you met George Clooney or Brad Pitt or something, you would never forget that moment, even though you probably met him for like 30 seconds and he said hi and took a picture with you and looked really good, and you're like, dude, I met George Clooney, I'll never forget this day, save this napkin, right? Because he's fucking George Clooney, and you know him already through his actions and efforts, all the movies he's done, all the stuff that you're into about George Clooney that you like. You feel like you know him already. You don't know George Clooney. You never spent any time with George Clooney. George Clooney doesn't know who you are, right? So the way we remember people is not in time. All right, I don't remember George Clooney because he's lived for 60 years, right? There's a ton of people who have lived for 60 years. I have no idea who those people are, right? But I know George Clooney, not because he's lived 60 years, but because he's done 60 years of actions and efforts and movies and creative thinking, right? And by the way, the point of this video is not to brag about George Clooney or anything. I'm not even a huge George Clooney fan. He's just the first name to come to mind, so that's interesting. But all right, so using the tips today, you can forever not be forgotten by all the people you know, even the people you don't like. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm Jared, Paintbrush Samurai.